Brothers and the occasional sister, stop to enjoy the coffee. Oh, let me make sure that's not burning. And the bread. Oh, got a wee bit brown there. Just sitting there. I took it out of the freezer. Beautiful, beautiful sourdough bread. Look at that loaf. Oh, hungry. That's my breakfast. And this morning, I'm playing a bit of music. I'll give you just a wee tiny bit. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just playing some music to kind of take my mind away from my thoughts. And I find if I do this, then when I make a video, my mind is empty and I can give you everything from a clean slate, if that makes any sense. Maybe it doesn't. Anyway, key of C, Lee Oscar harmonica. Alright, I turned 60 this year. Woohoo! I made it. Wasn't sure I was going to at one stage. All you men that are over 60 is watching this, first of all, here's to you. And what I'll say about being over 60 is well done making it for a kick-off, because let's face it, the 50s were pretty rough for me. I didn't think I was going to get through the 50s. I survived a couple of disease processes, and I made it. And it was hard, and I've come out the other side, and I've redesigned my life, redesigned my health, and I've done it pretty much with a really good team of people around me, and they weren't all doctors and nurses and physicians and the normal ones that you normally think of. No, they were all different people that had alternative ideas. I tried using the usual medical model, but it was never going to save me. I'd be dead if I had done that. So, first of all, well done if you're over 60 and you're still here. Drink to that. Oh, that coffee's good. Thank you, Chloe. It comes from Brisbane, Swart Cafe. Chloe, she gives me one. Oh, it's really good. Have another swig. Coffee. It is decaf, but it's still coffee. It has a tiny little bit of caffeine in it, I think, because I always get a little bit raised, but yeah. 60 is an age that it's time, men, and the occasional sister listening, it's time to realise that we're closer to the dead part of life, of dying and exiting this life, than we were on the other side of it. We're past the halfway mark. 60 is technically old. That's when you become old. Old is a state of mind, of course. I don't feel old today. I feel better than I did 10 years ago, because I've changed my lifestyle. I've changed things which have given me my health back. Because I was progressing with 2 disease processes 10 years ago, now I'm going the other direction. So you can biohack that. Your chronological age and your biological age are 2 different things. So the trick is to find out exactly what works, and you don't know what's best for you. I'll say that again. You don't know what's best for you. I don't know what's best for me. And that is, for that reason alone, is why I have followed the real science, because there's science and there's science. So all the long-term studies, the meta-analysis with large cohorts looking at what causes people to have the best health, the less amount of stress, the best sleep, gives them best exercise so their mitochondria is working at its highest function to create the energy, what works the best for managing stress, how you best manage pain, all of these things. There's a science behind them, and it's our job to do the research, not to go and see a doctor, blindly sit in front of him and ask him, fix me because I'm sick. because he doesn't know you. Everybody's got a different system, a different body. Most of us are inherently the same. We've got a microbiome in our gut that needs to be nourished. We've got a brain that needs to be looked after and have the right sort of fats, the EPA and the DHA and all the other special phytonutrients. And the brain is made up of a lot of cholesterol, but the right sort of cholesterol. So our bodies need to have the right information. And if we just sit back and go, I like drinking my coffee and eating my bread, if we just do what feels good, that's going to definitely lead us down the wrong road, because I've been excessive my whole life. Because smoking used to feel good. Smoking dope used to feel good. Snorting cocaine up my nose used to feel good. And it's the same with the foods we put in our mouth. And also the things we do. Sitting around doing nothing used to feel good. So being sedentary used to feel good. Although I pretty much have exercised quite a bit of my life. So it turns out that exercise is really, really important. And that diet is really, really important. And sleep is really, really important. And drinking lots of water is important. And having good, healthy relationships is important. And having love is important. And having good, healthy sex is important. And having good thoughts in your mind, and when you're having bad thoughts, learning to let those go. All of those things dictate what goes on to our endothelial and our mitochondria and all the inside of us that makes us get disease or not. And I've had to go through hell to find that out. One thing us humans are really good at doing is we're good at finding things that support our bad habits and sticking to our bias. Oh yeah, but this makes me happy. You don't know what's best for you, because let's face it, most of the things that we really enjoy are actually the things that can be quite detrimental to our health. A lot of things, not all the things, but a lot. The surest and fastest way to make your life better, to make your dreams come true, and I've learnt this, is to do the jobs first that you hate the most. I'll say it again. The surest, fastest way to make your life better and your dreams come true is to do and tackle all the jobs that you hate and do them first. To make your existence here much, much better than it is, you have to enforce upon you motivation and nurture it to do the tasks that you need to do. I mean, you only need to do 30 minutes of cardio a day. It's not a lot. Maybe 30 minutes of strength training. It's not a lot. It's only an hour. Make sure you eat 3 good meals or 2 good meals or 1 good meal of what's really high nutritious food. And make sure you get those 8 hours of sleep. Those are basics. But then there's all the other stuff around it. Anyway, if you made it to 60, if you got there, well done. Cheers. This is to you. And on that note, we ain't going to live forever. So don't be hoarding your money. Spend it up on the ones you love and on yourself. You first, then your partner. Don't be going, oh, I've got to leave something for the kids. No, you don't. They're all adults now. If you leave something for the kids, all that's going to happen is they'll get married as kids do, as they grow up. Get with a partner. The partner will enjoy something that you've worked your ass off bloody hard for, and they have no comprehension of how hard you work for it. They'll be enjoying it. That's your children's inheritance. Or worse still, you leave everything that you work for. A third goes to your son. He marries a woman, or your daughter. They get with someone, they live with them for 3 years, and then they break up, and that person takes half that and fucks off. That ain't going to happen with my hard earnings. I'm going to share it with the ones I love now. Why? I'm alive to watch them enjoy it. I'm going to watch my children prosper, and my partner. I'm going to see the people in my life that I love enjoy it. Mostly though, I'm going to see me enjoy it. I'm not taking it with me to the grave. My idea is when I finally die, to try and work it out, when I'm just about dead, I've got nothing left, not a penny left in the world. It's all gone into things that I believe in, people I believe in, causes I believe in, helping other young men get. For me, it's supporting young men, taking them out hunting and fishing. For me, it's the environment. For me, it's indulging my children because they're the ones I look after and I love, even though they're adults now. Making sure my mum's okay in her old age. Making sure my parents are okay. That's what my money's for. while I'm alive. Because I can't see any of that being enjoyed when I'm dead, and neither can you. I'm going to drink some coffee and think about something else to say, because I've run out of thoughts now. And normally I don't run out of thoughts that quick. Oh, here's a good one for you. This makes me smile and it makes me happy. I'm going to go away from this fire because I'm cooking here. Let me turn this around a little bit. Oh, it's bloody hot there. So, I hadn't posted a video on YouTube. I hadn't posted one like I'm on Clay Tool Stories, which is my main income. I'm going to take this off because I'm cooking here. I hadn't posted a video for like 8 months. Or if I had, it was a fishing one or something, just a small one. But nothing really big, and it hadn't done anything. Because I was looking after myself. I was actually just looking after my patrons on Patreon. I was posting regularly every week there, but I wasn't really putting the full work into doing like the sort of videos that I normally produce. And I decided I would share one of my hunting videos. It was one where I went up in the hills with my dog Pace and my new pup Johnny, and we had a great day. I was feeling good. I was walking along here, and it was just a beautiful day. And I went up this place where you've got to climb to get to the zone. And because of that, people go in there by helicopter, and a few people climb in, if you don't mind being a bit of a mountain goat. But it's quite steep getting up there. But I always love this place because of the fact it's so hard to get into, and people just don't want to risk their neck getting in there. You're always going to find a pig in there. And generally the pigs are in good condition because there's quite a lot of food up there. So I climbed up there, my rucksack and my little gun in the back, just in case I've got a bail-up situation, which I'll never get. I had my Barco knife and also a few other bits, so some plastic bags to take meat out in. And I had a pack of lunch with some of this bread, which I just love this bread. Some of that and some seeds and some nuts and some dried berries and stuff. And I started going up there, and it was just like, it was already a good hunt if I didn't catch something. It was just so beautiful when I was filming it. First one I've really filmed in a long time where I actually enjoyed filming it. Normally I don't enjoy filming all the time because it takes my mind away from the hunt. But I thought, no, this is beautiful. I can share it with everybody. And sooner or later it happened that the dogs got onto a pig. And Johnny disappeared. Don't know where he went. But anyway, Pace went down and grabbed this sow. And I was wearing these stupid new boots that were soft. And she bit my toe. And my toe swelled up so much in the boot. I didn't want to take my boot off because I wasn't sure I'd get my foot back into it, because I could feel it swollen, it was throbbing in there. And when I got home and took it off, it was just purple. The whole foot was purple, but it didn't matter. Anyway, point being is that I filmed it and I shared it with my patrons, gave them the whole lot of sticking the pig. I used actually a little Barco knife to stick the pig, and I did all the cuts. I took all the meat I took everything out of the bush except the spine, the head and the skin. I bagged all the meat up, the ribs a lot, everything. And it made a really good video. And then I thought I'll share this to public because I haven't posted a long time, and I do have to look after one of my sponsors is Posse Yum. Very recently, they started to give me their seconds, the ones they can't sell, because I've been using Chunky and Posse Yum for 15 years now, and they started sending me their seconds because I show them on the channel. I thought, well, I need to show some dog tuckers, so I showed feeding the dogs at the beginning. I put a little edit of that in before I went away, and I did this video and I cut out all of the graphic stuff. There was no gutting in it, there was no sticking the pig. I explained all the way why we do what we do, so it was a very educational video, and I went through all the guidelines because YouTube now are not allowing people to post hunting stuff up, and I got this video online, and straight away it just went like this. It just went up. It was really good, and it got like 10,000 in the first like 5 or 6 hours views, and great comments and new subscribers coming to the channel. And then suddenly it got age restricted and demonetized, and I looked at that and I went through it all and I thought, fuck this, that shouldn't be happening. I've made this legit, and it was done by AI because they have an AI system that decides it's no good. So I appealed it. Now when I appealed it, they then sat down and watched it, and they then determined that it actually was not suitable at all for YouTube. It was against their guidelines, so they took it right down. They took the video right off, and they gave me a warning. You get another warning, you get a strike. So I couldn't believe this because I'd stuck to their guidelines. So they then gave me an option where I had to do a training program to be retrained on how to post on YouTube. And that really pissed me off. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do their training program and see whether I made a mistake, because maybe I have done. So I went through it all, and I did the whole thing. I got 10 out of 10. I straight away knew I'd done everything right. And at the end, it gave me an option to reappeal again. So I did. And I did a reappeal again, and this is where somebody human sits down and watches the video. And straight away, not waiting for 24 hours, straight away, they reinstated the video, they remonetized it, and they also gave me a formal apology, which was like, yes! Now that video is performing 100% better than all my other videos right now. It's been up for 3 days. In 3 days, it's accumulated 36,000 views. It's made me, I think, about $80. Or maybe it's a bit more than that. It might be $87, I think, the last time I looked at it. It's brought to the channel a couple of 200 subscribers, and it's only been going 3 days. At that rate there, if it continues to grow, it could be one of my better videos. But they were just going to write me off then and there because their AI system saw blood. But I had edited all the stuff out that there's no gutting of the pig, no sticking the knife in. You can't show hit shots of an animal being hit by a bow, or like with a bow and arrow, or with a bullet, or a knife going in. You can't show the actual killing anymore on YouTube. Even if it's trying to be educational, you can't show that, which I find astounding because it's educational, but still. Anyway, point being is, don't just roll over if you're doing what I'm doing, if you're a YouTuber, and particularly if you're a hunter or a fisherman, and you're actually posting stuff, because it's really, if you're sticking within their actual guidelines, you actually have rights. The stupid thing about it is they're actually a partner. I'm partnershiped up with YouTube. We share the ad revenue 50%. I make good money with the ad revenue. It didn't used to, but now my other channel, not this channel, but my other channel's gone higher. I now make enough that you can live off it. And then there's my music, which I make about 35 to 40% of my income from, which has gone up. And my Patreon, which is where I post pretty much all my stuff. What I do, I post everything, and from there I decide what goes to public. And the beauty about Patreon is I can freely post everything, and my Patreon money gets funneled into a separate account, and that's the account that I use for running all the boys' hunts, all their gear and equipment, the truck, which is the biggest expense to taking them out, and I use it for things like dog care, all their worming, their veterinary care. So the Patreon account is an entity of its own, which runs that. My music account runs my music side of things, and it pays for that. And then all the ad revenue, that's the cream that I live off, and that's the stuff that I'm enjoying spending on everybody and everything. And I think if you're 60 years of age and you're like me and you've got to 60, then however you've worked and whatever you've done, I think you have an obligation to yourself to enjoy your hard-earned money now. And all the other things that you've worked hard for, that you've done for other people. It's time to enjoy it for yourself. It really is. If you've got a boat that's parked up, not one that you're parking up like my houseboat that you're doing maintenance on, but one that you've actually got that's whole, get out in the water and use it. Get out in the water and enjoy your boat, because you work so hard for it. Or if you're smarter, you won't own a boat. You'll have a mate that's got a boat, and every time you see him, you'll put $500 in his hand when you go for a fish, or $400, whatever you think's a good koha, and you pay for all the fuel and some of the maintenance. That's what I do. I got mates that take me out, and I don't just pay for the fuel money. I give them a big chunk, because I know that the boat costs them their car, their trailer, their maintenance, the boat itself, the motor. It costs so much, and I give them a good chunk of money every time, because it's cheaper still for me to do that than it is to own a boat. I'd have to clean it after. Actually, I help them clean it normally. I'd have to have a place to park it. So if you're smart, and my dad always used to go pig hunting when he was a young man, and he was smart. He didn't have his own dogs. He used to hunt his mates' dogs, and he was a good hunter. So he actually had one dog. He did have one dog. He had a dog called Blue. That was the only dog he ever had. But he used to hunt a dog called Charlie that belonged to his mate, and he'd take that dog, Charlie, off religiously, and Charlie became one of the best pig dogs in the area. Now, we're talking a lot of years ago. We're talking 68 years ago, when my dad was like My dad today is 85, 86, 86 now. So, yeah, we're talking a lot of years ago. And Dad was hunting as a teenager till his 20s. Back in the day when you could go and catch a dozen pigs, no trouble at all, because there weren't that many pig hunters around. Yeah, things have changed a lot. There's less pigs and more pig hunters now. It's hard to get them. And as you get older, it gets harder. I wasn't actually meant to go pig hunting yesterday. I got everything ready the night before. I got my food, got everything. But I had a bad night, man. I had a really bad night. I got this chronic sciatic pain, and sometimes I just can't take enough codeine. I don't get sleep. And if I don't get sleep, I don't hunt the next day, because I know that I'll struggle. I know it's a strain on my body. That's the other thing I'll say to you. If you're having a bad day physically, just take it easy. If you've got to work, if you've got a job to go to, you ring up your boss and say, hey, listen, I'm under the weather, and have a day at home. Because it knocks so much out of you to do stuff on those days when all you need is a day or two to repair, and then you can get back in and go stronger again. So manage yourself smarter. Going hard is something when we were younger. As we get older, we need more time to bounce back. We need more time to repair, replace, and replenish. It's really important. Now, I'm just going to finish up on one thing outside of that. This is for you younger men, and most of you won't be watching by now because this is some old fart talking about stuff when you're 60 and over, which you probably think didn't appeal to you, or probably didn't mean you, but you were actually smart if you're listening, because you hopefully will get to 60 one day, and if you can learn by what I'm saying, it may be beneficial, it may not, because not everything I say is necessarily correct. It's only my views and my past experience, and you might have a whole different outlook, and that's completely just as valid and just as good too. This is only my reflection of me and what I've learned. But what I will say, for any of you men that have recently broken up with your partner, because I had a young guy ask me yesterday, and I've got to get back to him on Instagram. He asked me yesterday on Instagram, and I hadn't looked at it. And if you're watching this, mate, I was looking around for my phone. I'm filming with my phone. I can't read it, but I would like to read it out to you. But he's asked for some advice. And if there's any one bit of advice I could give, and here's coming from a man who lost a woman that he was with for 12 years that he just loved to the end of this world, but she didn't love him back. And I hung on that she would, but she didn't. If there's one bit of information I can give you on how to get over a broken heart and how to move forward with your life, and this is a hard one to hear, but it's the only thing that only thing I could actually share with you that worked for me, is cut them off. Cut them off, like cut them off. Cut off. If they're on Facebook, block them. If you have their any form of communication that involves you actually communicating directly or with what they're thinking and thoughts, cut them off. For me, it was difficult because I had a business. This person that I was with was doing and still did some of my business stuff for me, because online stuff, tax work and that, because I'm not very good at doing that. And so I had that connection there, but I still struggled. But I found when I cut her off, and you'll find the same thing, once you cut them off, suddenly they separate from you easier, and you can move forward. And before you know it, you meet somebody else. And I did meet someone else, and that's what happens. But until you cut that connection, you don't have a chance to go through your own grief and grieve the loss of the love. You have to go through it properly, and you don't go through it still holding on to bits of them. You've got to cut them off. You've got to cut them right off. And it's hard, but that's what you've got to do. And it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, because it's the last thing in the world you want to do. But it's flogging a dead horse, and I was flogging a dead horse. It's really, really, really easy to talk about something, but hard to do. But as I said at the beginning of this video, the surest way to make your life better is to do the job that you hate the most. And that means that if you're flogging a dead horse, you need to dog tucker that horse, feed it to the dogs and move on. Or turn it into Burley. Burley the bitch! I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. No, have full respect for your ex, but let them get on with their life and wish them the best and move forward in your own life. That's my last bit of advice. Right, I'm going to throw this in the toaster. I'm going to toast it. You know that toasting bread lowers it on the glycemic index even more. This is the best bread you could have for your microbiome, because it's a bread that's had the gluten mostly taken out through the process of the sourdough fermentation process. It actually gets rid of about 90% of the gluten. And of course it's whole grain. with the whole seeds in it. And it's made by a flour that's freshly ground. And then when you stick it in the toaster, that actually lowers it even more on the glycemic index. It just tastes fucking good. Anyway, brothers, I thought I'd catch up, and the occasional sister. 25 minutes of yakking non-stop. I'm not going to check what I said, so if I've made any mistakes in this, sorry. And as always, remember, these are only my views. What has worked for me, not necessarily correct, but what I have found that's been the best way forward for me in this thing we call life, and that we're enjoying this human experience. Go steady. If you know a brother anywhere that's struggling in any way, reach out and help, or a sister for that matter too. And I hope this video finds you well, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.